Hello, fifth grade. Exciting news. We get to use our microscopes. These are really nice, expensive microscopes that work really well. The challenge is plugging them in. So you see the cables everywhere. So they are specifically set up in the center of the room where I have that plug, and then also on this end of the room, and also on the far end of the room. Very important that we remember to not share anything, no sharing of microscopes. We have to keep everything to yourself, but you will get to use your own microscope and look at your own slides. So definitely be careful of all the plugs. Sorry, but that's just how it is with microscopes. Each one needs to be plugged in because each one needs a light. Without light, there is no microscope because you need to be able to see what you're looking at. Our microscopes shine from the bottom up. That means your specimen has to be transparent or translucent. You have to be able to see through the item so you can see what's going on in there. So if you're looking at a rock, for example, you are not going to be able to see anything because the light from the bottom is not shining through the rock. In which case, you need a light that shines down. Our microscopes don't have that, but that is okay because later on we can use flashlights to be able to see something like that. But we're going to focus today on a fascinating question. Why is brown not really brown? If you look in your parents' printer at home, you'll see there is no brown color as an option. What you're going to learn today is that even though magazines have all the colors you can think of, there are actually only 4 colors in most printers, and brown is not one of them. So we're going to find out today, what is really the brown here made of? All right, just for fun, we're going to be looking at the number 5 here. And as I look into the eyepiece, whoa, there it is. You'll see there's a pointer there. And that pointer is just to help you center whatever it is you're looking at. If I move the 5 away from the center, you see the pointer is pointing at the yellow part there. What's going to happen when I zoom in more with the more powerful lens? Hey, where'd the 5 go? Oh yeah, the 5 wasn't centered, so now I can't see it anymore when I zoom in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my smallest lens, and then I'm going to zoom as close as I can get. And I'm going to use the needle there to help me center it. There we go. And now when I switch lenses, let's see if it's still in the middle. Oh, it's still there. And there it is. And so now when I switch to the highest power, if I can do it without bumping my slide here, try not to move the paper. There we go. And there it is, it's still on the black. So why do we need to center our specimen? Well, you're looking at me right now in the middle, and as you zoom in, you can see my face. But if I'm off to the side, and you zoom in, you're looking at the file cabinets. So, with the low power lens, you want to center your specimen, and then you can zoom into the higher power lens. Make sure you're in the middle the whole time. And how do you center the specimen? You slide the slide. That's why it's called the slide. Come over here and I'm gonna lift that clip and move it over. Look at that. Now it's still holding it in place. The light gives me a pretty good idea where the center is here. So even though it looks centered, look into the eyepiece, I can see, nope, it's not on the center. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to use my hand and I'm going to slide that slide just a little bit as I look through the eyepiece. And there we go. I've moved it to the center. Now I can go to the higher power lens and it will still be in the middle. Okay, welcome to How to Microscope. Step number 1, plug it in and turn it on. If it doesn't turn on, it's probably not plugged in. This is like shining a spotlight on a stage. Step 2, adjust the light wheel. There is a little wheel and you see the different openings here. Some allow a lot of light and some allow a little light. It depends on what you're looking at. Sometimes you want a lot of light, sometimes you don't. A good way to check it is just to look right here, and if you see the light coming through, then you're good. You definitely want to start with a lot of light. And I'm gonna, there we go, turn the wheel to see a lot of light in there. Great. Step 3, slide the slide onto the stage. The slide holds your specimen, making it easy to see and easy to move around. Putting the slide onto the stage of the microscope is just like a performer being put on stage in front of a spotlight. Today our slide is a piece of magazine paper, and you're gonna slide it into the clips here, or under the clips. And the clips are there just to hold it in place. You don't want your specimen moving all around. Step 4, check your lens. You always want to start with the smallest lens first. It is literally smaller than the other 2 lenses. And you see they spin around here. They click into place. You might not hear it, but you could definitely feel it. If you're between the lenses, it does not work. So make sure you turn it until it clicks into place with the smallest lens over the light. Now we're going to start with the focus knob. You actually have 2 focus knobs. This big one here is called the coarse focus knob, but I'm going to call it major. This is the major focusing, and you'll see how the stage goes up a lot when I turn the wheel here. Right? That's our major focus, and then we have our minor focus. This one, as I turn it, you'll see the stage barely moves at all. So we start with the major, and we're going to zoom all the way up as close as it'll go. Step 6, we're going to look in the eyepiece. Now, you hopefully noticed that I have not looked in this yet because steps 1 through 5 have to be done first. As I look into the eyepiece, I'm going to turn the major focus knob here slowly until, oh, it's already there. It's already focused. Now, once you get a pretty good look at it, you're going to want to come over to the minor focus, and this one makes it even more clear. This one just moves a little bit at a time. So that looks really cool. I can move this around and see different colors in there. Why is it called a slide? Because you slide the slide around on your stage. All right. I want to get closer. So now I'm going to go on to the medium lens. And again, I'm going to rotate this until I feel the click into place there. Now, because I already focused it with the small one, I probably don't need to refocus, but I'm going to get my hands ready on the focus knob just in case. And ooh, it does look really good. Since it's already really good, I'm just going to use the little one and just adjust a little bit. And you know what I forgot to do was adjust my light. I wonder if changing the light, darker. Ooh, so changing the amount of light does change the way it looks. It doesn't make it easier, it just makes it different, which is in a good way. Okay, now I'm ready for the big lens. This one is tricky because it has to get so close to the paper, it actually touches the paper. You'll see that most of ours have a little spring-loaded lens here, which is very helpful because you don't want the lens to break if you're using a glass slide, right? So I'm going to rotate, I had to click there, I'm going to do another click till I get the big one. And I'm going to be careful. Notice I'm not looking through the eyepiece right now. I'm looking from the side to make sure that big lens does not hurt anything or break anything. Click that into place. Now, sometimes when you zoom all the way up, you're not actually all the way there because the fine focus knob can go a little bit further. And so the fine focus knob will get even closer. All right, now I can see those dots and they're really big now. They're like grapes. And I'm going to just continue adjusting. Ooh. So that brown, light brown skin is not brown at all. I'm not going to tell you. You have to figure out for yourself what colors it is. By the way, I've been looking at it this way just so you could see more easily what it is I'm doing. You can turn this however you need to. The eyepiece rotates around, which is very helpful. Normally, we would share this with a neighbor. I would say, oh my gosh, Betsy, look at this. Come over here and see mine. But cannot do that now because of the virus. So do not let anyone else look in your eyepiece. This is for you and for nobody else. Once you pick a microscope, that is yours for the day. And then when we leave, no one else is going to touch it. Great. So I finished that one. I'm going to zoom back out. Today we're practicing just focusing. Next week, we'll be looking at all kinds of other cool slides. But very important, the county does not allow us to look at things like hair or fingernails. They don't want us putting our germs and stuff on there. So middle school, high school, you can do that. If you have your own microscope, you can do that. But in elementary school, we cannot look at any of our body parts in the microscope. Plus, you wouldn't be able to see it anyway because you need light shining down. However, we will be seeing other really cool things next week. So I looked at this one already. Now I'm going to try the beaver brown. So I tried a skin brown. I'm going to try a darker. That's got to be brown. How could it not be brown?